Also, wouldn't you agree, and Ray, that there is some, I understand it would take a little bit longer, but wouldn't you agree that since the menu system standard, once the calibrator got used to it, they could pretty much speed through that quite a bit quicker?
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, I think the fact that since you're really basically calibrating the processor to the projector or the display, it kind of limits the amount of multiple input calibrations and the total requirement to do a multi-point grayscale. Does that make any sense, or does that help you out?
It absolutely helps out. Another thing that I think the Lumigen really offers is that it becomes the center for video switching in a complex system. Most integrators have a lot of difficulty integrating all these new video sources. A typical high-end system has many sources. And the way Jim has executed this in this particular processor, it allows quick HDMI switching, which customers demand. Most of the solutions out there, when we want HDMI because it certainly offers the highest level of performance, but you push a button and a lot of times it takes time to work. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. On this product, it works flawlessly, it works quickly, and allows you to integrate all those sources to make the external control to a Crestron or an AMX system relatively seamless. So he can get his system up and running quicker. Not only can he calibrate it quicker, he can actually make it repeatable, reliable for his customer.
I know, Ray, you've installed a couple of them, and I know, Joel, you've had some exposure now over the years to the development of the product and some of the previous products. If you could just maybe discuss or talk about some of the features that you see. I know you talked about the CMS and the 10-point grayscale, but is there anything that you could say are the best features about this product, or some things that really stick out?
In any state-of-the-art scaler, the best feature I look at has nothing to do with high definition. The problem we have right now is not much in HD. HD is not that hard to process, even though we're seeing huge difficulties in 1080i to 1080p sports processing, and that's where I expect progress to happen in the next 36 months. But our single largest problem right now is NTSC, and there's hundreds of millions of hours of programming that my clients watch that needs exotic processing, needs mosquito noise reduction, needs exotic interlacing in 3 planes with temporal and spatial interpolation that is fraught with errors, and the best processing really comes to play when I'm watching NTSC. And it is something I often watch not by choice myself, but the content I'm looking for isn't on Blu-ray. The show I'm watching isn't in HD. And do we suffer through it? Yes, we suffer through far less with good processing. So I think the most important part of a modern day home theater isn't necessarily its ability to display HD. It's its ability to make NTSC palatable. And the closer you can get NTSC to look like HD, the more palatable it is. And that's actually what separates the very best systems from the others.
You know, I was discussing with you earlier, Ray, some of the early adopters of the product have also given me the feedback that they like the way it handles, like the DirecTV, multi-format, ESPN, some of the cable systems where it's able to, switch on the fly based on an input resolution, allows you to kind of get that dialed in so your client doesn't get all the different types of issues that come into play when the channel actually switches resolutions. Can you kind of give us a little bit on that? Or?
Absolutely. We've always believed that the best scaling is actually done inside the Lumigen. The scaling technology that you get on your cable box or on your DirecTV box.
No, it's to be avoided.
Yes, to be avoided probably at all costs.
In fact, while we're on camera, if we can mention one thing to the audience here, if you have cable or satellite, what you really need to do for your customers is to look into the setup menus on your cable or satellite, find something that gives the option for native output. Do not permit the cable or satellite box to do any scaling at all, because it is without a doubt the only box that you can't improve the high-end version. And I've got one bit of advice to clients here in my state where there are some sources and some companies that do not offer the option of native output, where the scaler that comes with your monthly subscription cannot be bypassed. We change those systems. They dump that image provider and go someplace where I can take the scaling out of the free box and put it into the one that I can trust.
Absolutely. The great thing is that if you do that with other products, the customer experience is a little bit diminished because of switching time. As you go from 480i to 1080i, the processors take a little time to be able to recognize that, so it diminishes the experience a little bit. On the Lumagen processor, Jim has done an incredible job of being able to adapt to that very quickly and still give the customer a great experience. Not only when he's doing from 1080, 480i, maybe 720p content on some of the stations to 1080i, but when he switches sources also. You know, going from source to 480, where many products have a difficult time managing that because of inadequacies in engineering, Jim has really delivered a product that switches virtually like it was an analog component, so the experience to the customer is the same. On the background, we're giving them the best resolution, HDMI, all the great things that a customer would expect, but we can do it in a manner that's reliable and gives the customer the same experience that he had before.
Well, again, I appreciate your time tonight, and you know, I got some really good feedback, and I appreciate all your help over the years, Joel and Ray, and evaluating these products. Do you guys have any kind of final thoughts?
Yes, to a great 2009.
Absolutely. Great 2009.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.